Here we go, gentlemen. There we are. Boom, we're live. All right, welcome in. I see the gentleman in the chat. Ollie, welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Ollie, I got some, I'm not usually a tea guy, but I got some tea this morning. Black tea. I don't usually drink black tea, but out of coffee, so I'm going to try some tea. I know you guys like tea over in the UK. But welcome in, everyone. Sunday Conversation. Today is December 1st. December 1st kind of fits in perfectly to what I'm going to be talking about today, but that means we only have 31 days until 2025. 31 days. That's it. So you have one more month to get your plans together for what you want to accomplish in 2025 and then hit the ground running on January 1st, 2025. So today is kind of going to be a little intro to planning and what I'm going to talk about and getting people in the right foot to get in the right direction of where you want to be in 2025. So obviously, by the title of this video, top 5 industries that are set to explode in 2025. So I have that list here. I also used a little chat GPT to give me some trends and some statistics and growth drivers that are going to be helpful for us to see and visualize how these industries are going to boom in 2025. So yeah, soon we'll hit 1,000 subscribers. Yep, we're getting there. So make sure if you guys are liking the videos to like the video and subscribe to the channel to get the notification when I go live every Sunday and every Wednesday for the Gentleman's Code. Also, we have some other videos that we slip in there here and there. So make sure you turn on the notifications to get those when I go live. So getting into today's topic, top 5 industries that are set to explode in 2025. So what does that mean exactly? What does that look like? Well, it might look a little bit different for everyone, right? Say you're someone who's young, you're someone who is in college, in university, in high school even, you're looking for a career path. You don't know where to go, but you want to get into an industry that's set to have good growth over the next 5 to 10 years, right? Because nobody wants to get into a dying industry, right? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to get into an industry that's not going to be around in 10 years, 15 years, right? So these industries that I'm going to talk about today are ones that are on the rise. So honestly, what I did is I looked at past trends in the past year and saw which industries had great growth in 2024, and then using the statistics of growth in that of ones that are set to even grow even more in 2025. So you might be somebody, like I said, who is looking to get their first job or looking to be someone who wants to start their own business. All of these industries are going to be great avenues for you to A, either get a job in if you could, or B, start your own business and start getting side income or start making main income in these areas. And a lot of them is ones that we already touch on. So you guys will see that. There's actually a couple in here. E-commerce is one, and also financial markets, the technology it's under, but financial tech. Um, so all the stuff that we encapsulate, that we talk about in the day to day, is all in here, right? This is all great technologies within 2025. So nothing that I've ever told you is going to contradict in this because they're touched in here. So any questions in the chat? I know we're live on a couple of different platforms now, so I'm seeing YouTube, X, and TikTok comments come through. So if you guys have any questions while I'm going through this about jobs, about creating a business in these fields, we can definitely chat through any questions. So I am going to get this set up for us here, and then the first one we're going to touch on, I kind of put these in different order, and then ChatGPT, you guys will see, it gave me the growth drivers, the trends, and then statistics. But let me transition into the screen and let me know if you guys having a difficult time seeing this, if you want me to make it a little bigger. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. Maybe not, but if you guys can see it on your end, give me a thumbs up, let me know. Oh, wrong screen. All right, here we go. So the first topic or the first industry that's set to have a great year in 2025, customer services, right? And why is customer services set to have a great year? Well, let me tell you why. So, customer service encompasses businesses that provide products or services directly to individuals. This includes retail, hospitality, entertainment, personal care, and financial services. So, think of anything that you actually have to go to a person to talk about when you are going into a bank, into a store, putting groceries in bags, right? Anything that kind of encapsulates you getting service from a person, whether that's a restaurant business, right? You're going out to dinner, you're going to get a movie and a drink, right? While you're watching a show, right? And they have food service that come around. So service industries are just continuing to rise year over year, and this is a very stable one. This is one that you're going to see year over year over year more people get into because A, there's more businesses being made around these fields, and B, it's good money making. People are going to go where the money is, and service industries are that 100%. So this is the most broad topic, and this is why I wanted to start with this. Because there's so many different avenues you could go down this one, especially when starting a business, right? Any business that is going to be a service provider, there's so many to pick from, honestly. So if you wanted to start a service business, here's some of the growth drivers and some of the trends that we're seeing. So growth drivers are increased disposable income and consumer spending, which we see all the time, right? That grows as our country makes more money. Growth in online platforms offering personalized services. So personalized services are things that are getting a little niche now. These are pet grooming companies. These are at-home salon companies, barbers that will come straight to your place and cut your hair for you, right? So these are getting way more personalized, and they're making good money. Recovery of tourism and hospitality sectors post-pandemic. So during the COVID-19 pandemic worldwide, they shut everything down, which was terrible, right? So as the economy has recovered over the past 3 years from that, you're seeing new industries arise, new service companies coming about, and also the ones that were closed reopened now. So things are open for people to go out, eat, dine, watch a show, also just spending their money in other places that they might normally not. Expansion of financial services to underserved populations. This is a good one. Thinking of life insurance sales possibly, or other different type of sales. Maybe a demographic you would normally sell to for a life insurance policy. Maybe that they're eligible now to have a little disposable income, and they're looking to get a life insurance policy that they never were before. So different emerging markets for you to be able to actually sell into are arriving now, which is making different sectors of sales and different other services available. Welcome into the chat, gentlemen. Appreciate you being here. So what are the trends in the customer service industry? So a digital transformation, including the adaptation of mobile apps and online booking platforms. This is something we've all seen, right? Now you could go on your phone and you could order DoorDash and you could get food delivered straight to your house. That's an online service. And you see more and more people doing that, right? Food delivery. That's a great one. A greater emphasis on customer experience and satisfaction. The more people that are going to be delivering food to your house per se, right? The better people are going to get more tips. So obviously they're going to want to be a better customer service, and they're going to want to treat their customers better because they're going to make more money, right? And they understand this, and people understand this. So you're going to have greater customer service, which is going to include people to buy more from those service websites like DoorDash, like whatever it is, grocery delivery, whatever it is you use as a mobile app, right? You're going to see more and more of those start to come alive, and you're going to see it because more people are doing it, like more people are doing delivery, so they're going to get more tips and greater customer service and all that. So demand for subscription-based services, meal kits, streaming, these are some of the examples that were in there. So there's just so many different avenues. Like I said, if you want to start a business in the service sector, you have ample opportunities too, because there's so many different niches you could go. So this is just stuff to keep in mind. Let's take a look at some of the statistics now. So hiring in consumer services is expected to increase 1.8% year over year moving forward. So I don't have the exact number, but I believe when I was reading it, it said that there was over 2 billion people in the service industry worldwide. So if that's expected to grow 1.8% year over year, that's about 200 million people a year are going to be getting into the service industry, right? So what does that mean for you as a business owner? That means that there's going to be opportunity to hire people. And that's what you're looking for. And also it means that there's opportunity to create businesses because more people want services and more people want services. You just keep pumping it out and then you're going to get money in return. So significant job creation in roles like customer support, marketing, and IT. All roles that I use, in my day-to-day life to get things done on YouTube, to get things done in my businesses, right? You need customer support. When problems arise in your business, how are your customers going to be helped, right? The CEO can't get on the phone and be like, oh yeah, you click this button instead of this button and you have to restart your Windows. No, you don't have time for that. So that falls under the customer services. When you pick up the phone and there's a problem with your order or your business or whatever it is that you're working with, there's people to answer you and to help. So that is a great opportunity for people to get into. Marketing, self-described, right? Everybody needs marketing for a business. You need good pictures, you need good audio, videos, TikToks, right? Even your personal brands, you need good marketing for personal brands, and you see that in today's day and age, all over Instagram, X, TikTok, it's all over. And IT, like I said before, IT kind of goes hand in hand with customer service in the fact that if a problem arises on your application, you call IT, you get it fixed, and they help you, right? So these are all just different problems that have solutions. So that's customer service. I think that is the most broad one, the easiest barrier to entry for someone who maybe doesn't have a job or is looking to start their first business. Customer services are, I think, the lowest grade to entry. So let's take a look at the second one here, technology. And technology may be actually one of the tougher ones to get into, but also one of the easiest ones to use if you wanted to start your own business, right? But maybe one of the hardest to create if you wanted to start your own business. So let's look at this, technology. Quick overview. Technology remains a cornerstone for global economic growth with high demand for innovation in AI, blockchain, and Internet of Things. So if you're in the Taylor's Code and you know about the things we talk about on the daily, we talk about AI, we talk about blockchain, right? We're always talking about blockchain. Blockchain goes hand in hand with cryptocurrency. So all of these things, which we have been saying have been incredibly hot over the past 2 to 4 years, are only set to grow more and more and more, especially with this bull market run in crypto. You're seeing trillions of dollars come into the market. It went from like 1.5 trillion to over 2 trillion in the past 3 months. So ample amounts of money being poured into these markets. And what does that lead to? Usually greater innovation. So what are the growth drivers behind the technology industry? So increase reliance on cloud computing and cybersecurity. Cloud computing you could think of as data storage. So when companies are looking to expand their AI and they're looking to expand their blockchain technology, they need somewhere to store this data. They can't just keep building warehouses and warehouses and warehouses physically on the ground because that's very expensive. So they come up with cloud computing, which gives these data servers the ability to talk to each other in the cloud. So you have a data center here, you have a data center here. You can't physically get all the data there together. So what do? You get the data to meet in the cloud, and then you could access it directly to the cloud. Also, cybersecurity, just adding a layer of protection to this data that's in the cloud and transmitting between server farms and stuff like that. You have that reliance that, okay, this data is good, it's clean, and nobody is attacking it, which is needed in today's day and age because it seems like everyone's always trying to steal data and stuff like that. So the continued investment in fintech, including crypto and decentralized finance, DeFi, right? So this is kind of what I touched on. Massive growth driver. Even over the last 6 months, you've seen so much money pour into the markets that it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry now. So something that was worth, a crypto coin per se, let's say the last bull run, let's say Solana, right, got up to a height of around $270 a coin at the height of that bull run. Right now, Solana is sitting at like $240, $50 right now in the midst of this bull run. So we're going to see things greatly past where they were last bull markets, just from an investment standpoint, because you could just look at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's already at its all-time highs, right? So when everything else follows, you're going to see a market that's sitting around $2.5–3 trillion in total market, which will be about double where it was just 4 or 5 months ago. So the continued investment in crypto and decentralized finance is, we talk about it all the time. I don't have to go into a big spiel about this one because you guys know. So advances in AI, machine learning, and automation, right? This is another big one. And it's funny because I'm using ChatGPT right now to show you guys this. So advances in AI, I took a simple idea, right? So I was doing research on these 5 industries that I wanted to talk about today. And these were the 5 that I ended up landing on after doing my research and writing out, taking bits of pieces of information from online websites of what I thought was good and putting it into a paragraph, right, for each of these technology. And then what I asked ChatGPT to do was give me some more insights of these trends of why they're going to grow in 2025. And then that's why I got these growth drivers, trends, and statistics, because AI and automation did that for me, right? So I took an idea, I constructed it with my knowledge that I got from different web pages. And then what I did to make automation a little bit easier and to get a little more insights and to show it to you all a little bit easier was I just put it in ChatGPT and I asked it to give me just more information and structure it in a way that is easy to talk about and for people to learn. And this is what it came up with, right? Growth drivers, trends, statistics. So advances in AI, machine learning, and automation is just going to continue to get better, right? And you could definitely use this to your advantage, and no matter what you're doing, right? It's good from a data analysis perspective if you have large portions of data that you can't physically scrub through because, 1, it's too complex, or 2, it's just too much data, right? You don't want to be looking at data for hours if it's not really going to help you. So tools like ChatGPT and the other different machine learning and automation tools are only getting better. So use those to your advantage whenever you're creating a business, creating a side hustle, or you're working in your job, right? On the day-to-day. So growing global internet penetration and 5G expansion. This is honestly one of the most important in terms of a technology, right? Giving people the accessibility to high-speed internet and having the ability to actually get on the blockchain, get on to AI, and not take 5 hours to make a transaction or 5 hours to get a prompt up and ran, right? So that's continuing to grow and to get better as well. So some trends on technology, now that we talked about the technologies. Focus on green IT solutions and energy-efficient technologies. Increased adaptation of remote work tools and digital collaboration software, growth in the metaverse and virtual augmentation reality apps. So, if you were going to start a business in one of these fields, which ones would you choose? I personally wouldn't choose the growth in meta AI because that seems a little complex to create augmented reality apps. But focusing on green IT solutions and energy efficient technology, I think is very doable. How do you make applications faster and data warehouses less congested so that you could get your transactions in and out, right? I think those are all great ways to work and to build towards. It's a good common goal for every person who's interested in technology to have. So the increase in adoption of remote work tools and digital collaboration software, you could think of tools like Canva, Zoom, all those different things, Google Workplace, like the Sheets and the Word docs, right? So you could go on and you could do something, and then you could send it to your buddy who is also working on the same thing without ever having to actually like physically send that to each other. You just pop in and you collaborate and you go. The global technology market is projected to grow CAGR of 5.6% through 2025, right? Crypto and DeFi sectors are witnessing exponential growth, with DeFi transactions surpassing 1 trillion in 2023. That's an old number now, being used by ChatGPT, but like I said, we've passed over the 2 trillion mark in 2024. So, that is the technology field. I know a lot of us are definitely interested in technology. Like I said, I think it has one of the highest barriers to entry in terms of creating technology. You need ample amounts of knowledge and skill to build new technologies, right? You have to really be a coder, a developer to get these applications built and to run in such a way that's connected with this 5G expansion that we're talking about, right? So there's so much that kind of is involved in technology. I think it is more used, where I think it's best used for us is to use the technology to enhance our businesses, right? ChatGPT, crypto, right? There's different ways that we can enhance our businesses that we already have, that we're building, and to use technology to go. But definitely, in terms of financial markets, the technology is not going away for financial fintech. So another industry that is set to explode in 2025 and has been over the past 1,000 years, right, is home care. So the home industry provides medical and non-medical assistance to individuals in their homes, catering primarily to the elderly of those with chronic conditions, right? So people that cannot take care of themselves. Aging populations and increased living expectancy, right? So as people get older, medicine gets better, you're going to live longer, but you physically might not be able to take care of yourself forever, right? So this is something that we're seeing is on the rise. This is not a field that I would get into per se, right? This is not my top one that I want to get into, but it's definitely open for market to get in, and you can make a lot of money in it, right? It's an open market where you could get in and either create a business, or you could go work for a business where you're making money doing this. So let's just read through some of the growth drivers and trends here. So preference for aging in place rather than institutional care, technology advancements in home monitoring and telehealth. So this is, you just zoom into a doctor, right? And he tells you, oh, okay, you have this, and he gives you pills or whatever. Not that I agree with it, but those are some of the advancements that you're seeing. So trends are growth in private duty home care services for personalized needs, right? Increase adoption of wearable health devices and telemedicine, like I said, hopping on Zoom, wearing an Apple Watch, all those kind of things. Partnerships between home care providers and insurance companies, and some of the stats. So the U.S. home care providers market has grown 3.1% annually from 2018 to 2023. I'd imagine that's true for 2024. The global market value expected to exceed $260 billion by 2026. $460 billion, right? This market's worth. So this is just another avenue, right? This is why I wanted to come on here. What I wanted to talk about is planning, right? We're planning for our 2025. Maybe you don't have a business idea right now. Maybe you want a business idea. Maybe you don't have a job right now. You want a job. You want to get into a market that's going to be great, that you could learn in, and you could grow in, right? So this is all I'm talking about here. This is not me saying go build a home living facility, right? That's not what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is, you take this knowledge that I'm giving you and you make a plan of action of what kind of industry you would want to go work in for the next 5 to 10 years, right? And these are the ones that are set to have a great 2025. You see, this market has grown 3.1 annually from the past 5 years. So what makes you think it's not going to grow for the next 5 years, right? People are getting older. Medicine's getting better. These are just things that you could get involved in, start learning about. Maybe you wanted to go to school to be a nurse, right? Maybe you wanted to be a nurse in college, right? You wanted to go work in a hospital, help save people's lives. But you also had that entrepreneurial spirit in you that maybe you wanted to create your own business one day. Okay, well, you could still create your own business, and you could also still be a nurse. Maybe you want to build a business around home care, and you, as a registered nurse, are bringing in other nurses that want to help other people, right? So this is just how you get the ideas flowing, is talking about and using tools to see what the trends are in different things. So now that we got my least favorite out of the way, let's talk about my favorite one. E-commerce. E-commerce, right? We all hear about e-commerce. E-commerce is probably the hottest industry over the past 5 years. I think e-commerce is very special because, one, you could create a business from thin air on the computer. You don't need a physical location anymore. And there's so many different ways that you could sell, right? You could sell on TikTok. You could sell on a website with Google Ads. You could sell in person but still have a good website, and maybe you built a good word of mouth business, but now you're ready to build that online business. So there's so many different aspects of e-commerce. So let's take a look at some of this. So e-commerce involves buying and selling goods and services online, a sector that has been grown dramatically in recent years due to the digital adoption, right? We've all know this. Everyone that talks to me about e-commerce, whether you're a student of mine who has learned e-commerce from me, or maybe you're interested in learning about e-commerce, right? So what do I do for e-commerce, right? What I like to do is build stores with a super low budget. So what I do is I'll build a Shopify store for $1. I'll build a TikTok shop for free. I'll get all print-on-demand products, things that cost me $0. But then what I do is I maximize my return. So I might not sell, 100,000. I might not sell 100,000 hoodies, Bitcoin hoodies, over the next year, right? But that's okay because my margins are so high to begin with because I didn't put any money down. All my businesses are started with $0. So every sale I make is making money from the start. So maybe I only sell 10,000 as opposed to 100,000. Well, maybe in order to sell 100,000, I would have had to start with 10,000, right? $10,000. So my strategy is to mitigate my upfront cost and exponentially grow my per sale cost. So every sale I make, I'm making money on it. So that's just one of my strategies. So let's look at some of the growth drivers behind e-commerce and why it's growing at a rapid rate. Increasing internet access and smartphone penetration. We talked about that with decentralized finance and crypto. A shift in consumer habits towards online shopping post-pandemic. Right? I think this is a good point. I think this is where a lot of the mindset's going. Like, let's talk about Friday, right? This past Friday after Thanksgiving was Black Friday. Black Friday when I was growing up was like a madhouse. Was actually like fun. You would go into the store. Everybody else there was there for the same reason you were, was to get to the store and get the good deals, right? So you would show up at Walmart at 12:01 on Black Friday, and there'd be a line wrapped around the place, and then you would go in and be fighting for PlayStations and fighting for Xboxes and all these good deals that they used to have back in the day. That doesn't exist anymore. Nobody goes Black Friday shopping anymore. Nobody wants to go and stand in line at Walmart or Best Buy and go get devices that have been out for 3 years. Like, that stuff doesn't exist anymore. So what does exist? It's online shopping. People are online. Cyber Monday coming up tomorrow, right? I have some TikTok shop promotions running for that. It's just going to be, people, it's the new wave. People are going to be shopping on their phones like they have for Black Friday. They see the deals instantly. They see the deals on Instagram. They see the deals on TikTok. They see the deals just on the website. So they're more inclined to buy, and it gets shipped right to their house. So that's why you're seeing it. It's just another reason to grow with e-commerce. So the rise of AI-driven personalized shopping experiences, right? This is one that you wouldn't maybe think that they do a lot if you're just a normal consumer, but it's one that you could definitely see if you are a producer or you a seller, right? Maybe you see where am I? So like when you go on to build a store, right? For one of my tools I use, AutoDS, they give you an option to build a store all up front with AI. And that's what this is saying here. So just like people are building shops with auto intelligence, and they're also recommending you products with AI as well. So you're getting hit from all angles now. So they're really using those cookies, what you're searching, and then they're pushing it right in front of your face. So that's a very in-depth topic that we could talk about another time. So expansion of same-day delivery and micro fulfillment centers. So let's talk about Amazon FBA for a second. Amazon also has a print-on-demand section now. So Amazon has become the shipping king, right? They could get you packages in 1 to 2 days usually, depending on where you are. If you're in a more remote location, might take you a little bit longer to get your package. But Amazon, they could pretty much get you anything in 1 to 2 days, which is insane, right? So how do they do that? What they use is Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. And what they do is, say if you're a supplier of, let's say Stanley cups for one, because I know a buddy of mine who is into e-commerce, and he has an Amazon FBA where he sells Stanley cups. So what he does is he goes out and he buys his Stanley Cups at bulk price from wherever he gets them from. I think he used to get them from Dick's Sporting Goods or something. And you go on and you actually box up all the Stanley Cups and you ship it to Amazon. So then Amazon holds it for you, and then when they get an order on your listing on Amazon.com, right? They go to your box that you got to them, they'll take out a Stanley Cup and they'll package it and they ship it off. So what this has done is has eliminated the process of needing me, who has Stanley Cups ready to be sold, boxing them up, taking them to the post office taking 3 to 5 days to get it to you, or even 2 days to get it out of the post office, right? Now it's giving Amazon the ability to use their greatest asset, which is their supply chain, which is their delivery drivers and their trucks, right? So now you take your products, they're all sitting in Amazon warehouses. These Amazon warehouses are not small, by the way. They're huge. They're massive. So you have thousands and thousands of suppliers sitting in different warehouses throughout the country, right? So they're able to instantly grab it. Like, we know where the closest one is to you. We're going to get that one shipped to you as soon as possible. So that's just a little insight of how they do this. So another tool, e-commerce one, I've like Shopify, building my own, having that creativity. But if you do want the Amazon aspect to list products on Amazon to get them out quickly with shipping, you should absolutely look into Amazon FBA. It's a great tool. One that I wish I got into a little bit earlier, but still a great tool. So some of the statistics, adoptions of cryptocurrency payments, I think that's just given the route we're going with crypto. You're going to start seeing apps being integrated to checkouts like a Visa, like an Apple Pay. Now you're going to have crypto pay, Phantom Pay, right? It's going to be a Phantom wallet. You just connect your Phantom wallet and you pay for stuff. So many different aspects you could go down. The total market value is projected to be about $819 billion by 2027. So this is going to be $1 trillion market in the next 10 years, 100%. It's just going to come down to how you're going to innovate, how you're going to make e-commerce better, how you're going to sell better products, how you're going to have better shipping, right? So you think about these things when you're going to create a business or you're going to get involved in something, right? How are you going to make it better? Because that's where the real winners are going to stand out, is making these technologies better, not just selling shitty drop shipping products from China, right, on your website. That's not going to get you a sliver of that $819 billion pie, right? So I believe this is the last one here. Sustainable businesses. And this is kind of looking more towards the future. This is, I would say, the longest vision one. If you are looking to make money right now, this one is probably not it. This is more of a builder. This is more about sustainable earth, keeping the earth healthy, and then having a business doing it, because it's on a lot of people's minds right now, and you hear a lot about global warming and things like that in today's age. So let's talk about the business aspect of it. Sustainable businesses prioritize environmental, social, and governance, ESG, you might have heard that term before, factors to meet the demands of eco-conscious consumers and regulators. So, some of the growth drivers behind this, we'll just read through it and then we'll talk about it. Increasing global awareness about climate change. What did I say? Stricter government regulations on carbon emissions and waste, demand for transparency in supply chains and practices. So, again, I don't think this is something that one person can just build a business around, right? This is maybe not one that you're going to be like, oh, I know how to clean the water out of the Gulf of Mexico and make it cleaner for the dolphins and for the fish. No, you're probably not going to be able to do that, right? What this is I think this topic is a good lifelong career aspect, right? Because it's really something you got to understand. You got to understand where the problems are coming from, and then you got to be able to use that data to build solutions. So if you're someone who maybe you're not an entrepreneur, maybe you don't want to build a business, maybe you don't want to, have all that pressure on you, but you still want to do something great, I think this is the field for you, right? This is a field where you could actually be better. So my personal experience in this sustainable business model, right? And this is kind of the reason why I put it in here, was because I work for a nuclear energy company. We generate nuclear power and we sell nuclear power, right? So that it's one of the cleanest forms of energy you could get, which we've seen lots of good tax credits from it. People, We've seen large investments from it from some of the largest billionaires in the United States, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. Just a lot of companies are investing into this company because they do nuclear energy, right? And it was an alternative over the past 4 years with a more, I would say, climate enthusiastic administration, the Biden and Harris administration. They really wanted to, you saw what they did with the oil, right? They really cut oil, which I don't think was good, but it gave opportunity to these other industries to grow in terms of nuclear energy. I think solar's great as well. I think wind is stupid. It costs a lot of money to build wind turbines, and they're pretty ugly, and they're big, and they take up a lot of space. And for the power you get with the wind, it's not worth it to build all that and to have an ugly looking fan sitting out there in our beautiful deserts and our mountains, right? So I think nuclear energy is a great one. So it sits home to my heart. I do a lot of work in the nuclear energy field. So what are some of the growth drivers behind this? Obviously, I already talked about climate change and carbon emissions and waste, but demand for transparency is supply chain practices. So when people do get energy, do they know that it's clean? So I think the real emphasis around here is you think about these larger companies that we talked about, like Microsoft with data centers and Apple with data centers and Google with data centers, right? It takes a lot of energy to power these data centers and these companies, right? They all use the internet 24/7. They all build hardware, and all this takes electricity. So getting the cleanest electricity possible is what's going to benefit these companies, right? Because they want clean and cheap energy, and that's the path we're going down. Don't get me wrong, oil and gas is great for so many different things, but it's different. You can't really use oil and gas to get electricity at a friendly way, right? We need ways to have electricity for infinite amount of time, right? Because we're not using electricity for the next 100 years, 200 years. We're using electricity until humans don't exist anymore. And the thing is with oil and natural gas is that it's going to run out, right? That's a non-renewable fossil fuel. So there's going to come a point in time when we run out of oil and gas. So being able to have technologies that we're planning for the future, right? This whole broad overscope today was about planning and picking paths that you might want to go down. So this is one that I thought would fit the trend. Speaking of trends, let's look at the trends. So transition to renewable energy sources such as power and wind. I talked about this. So use of biodegradable packaging, sustainable raw materials, adoption of circular economy practices, including recycling and reusing. So right there, I think those are great points for people that want to start their own business, right? You could start a recycling company. You could start a sustainable biodegradable packaging company, right? You just get these resources. Maybe you get in contact with someone who has these resources. You make it pretty. You make it nice for people that want to buy it. Maybe an Amazon warehouse would want to buy it off you. And then from there, you have a business where you could buy and sell goods. And then you're also doing your part in the sustainable economy, right? So you have something that is going to better the earth, and then you sell it. That's a sustainable economy, right? Making money off of things that are going to make the earth better. So by 2025, 75% of companies are expected to have measurable ESG goals. So this is what I talked about: Google, Microsoft, Apple. Like, these companies have ESG goals that they have to meet and that they have to hit. So this is a great field to get into. So that is all I have for today, guys. I hope you guys, take the time to plan what you're going to be doing from December 1st to December 31st over the next 30 days, because 2025 is right around the corner now. So you have no excuse as to what you want to do in 2025, because use these 30 days to plan and to get ahead of the competition into what you want to do in 2025, right? So that's going to be a point I'm going to be hammering home here in the final 3 weeks of 2024. So again, I'm just going to make sure, if you guys got this far in the video, appreciate you being here. Throw a subscribe, throw a like on the video, and we'll have more coming. So the more followers and everything we have, the more engagement we get in the chat, and that's just easier and better videos for this video in the Gentleman's Code on Wednesdays. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your